What do you guys think about sex during pregnancy?
Yeah.
I was talking to my husband. I was like, do you want to try? He was like, okay, this is kind of weird.
I think I enjoyed it more the entire time.
My first trimester, I was just tired. I was so fatigued.
Is it selfish for me to say I'm tired? I struggled because of how am I attractive or
I didn't know if my husband desired me at the same
yeah.
So I was so scared of being pregnant again.
I think the key thing for your marriage is communication. You're being intimate with your person and then milk spills.
She got the light in her life. Her love never fails. She lives to walk right. And through her trials, so much grace. So much grace. So much grace. So much grace.
Hi guys, welcome to the Mothers by Grace podcast. This is a podcast for moms who need a whole lot of support and even more grace. So today we are privileged to have one of our closest friends, or one of my closest friends. She is dressed in strength and dignity. Strength and dignity.
Where's the food?
And for this topic today,
Hallelujah.
we decided that there is no woman wiser who can carry this topic the way she can. We searched and thought, Lord,
Come on.
help us.
Yeah, right, Charlene.
This topic is heavy. Mungu Baba, we need assistance. We need help because
Hallelujah.
we need the woman.
Hallelujah.
So I'm going to start by introducing myself. And then the ladies will introduce themselves. And then we'll have our guest introduce herself.
Yeah.
I'm Kadzo Warimbo. Yeah.
And I'm Charlene Wamboi.
And I am Lynn Washo. I don't think I've ever mentioned my first name here, by the way. Actually, my first name is Lynn Washo. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But you see it on the intro.
On the intro. Yeah.
And I am...
None other than.
No!
You know, there's no person
There's no
who
way.
has brought us
You
as
guys.
many subscribers
It's true.
as this lady. Then there's
ding,
no
ding,
person
ding, ding,
who
ding,
comment
ding, ding,
section.
ding, ding,
Whether there's
ding.
somebody who said, Sola and Kadzo should just be sitting together because they just laugh the whole time.
Oh my God, you guys. Thank you so much. First of all, it feels weird for you guys to say a guest.
Yeah.
Because, Ati, our guest, I'm like, we've been interacting together for so long.
Yeah.
It feels weird to be called a guest, but I know it's guests for the other people on the other side.
Yeah.
But honestly, thank you for having me. This is home. It's just a continuation of the conversations that we normally just have.
Yeah.
And I need a lot of grace. I too need a lot of grace. I had the topic and I'm like, wrong topic for me. Wrong topic for me. I have nothing on this topic. This is me. I'm going to be quiet most of the time. No, for sure.
You're so blind.
Honestly, let me tell you guys, this is the one. You guys just aki yo, this topic, man. But anyway, she'll introduce the topic. But it's tough. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. I even don't think I'm a content creator. I do a lot of content with my husband on marriage, relationship, and kidogo parenting. And I don't think we've even done anything in and around. Okay, we have in and around this same topic.
But you've not talked about the
No,
nitty-gritty.
not the nitty-gritties of it.
Yeah.
And then I know Mothers by Grace.
Yeah.
And where you guys go with your conversation. And I'm like, I am not ready. I am not ready.
Oh, God. I'm excited.
So you know how many times it's postponed this shoot?
Yeah. A couple times.
Someone was running away.
A couple
You know
times.
the person. For real,
A
for
couple
real.
times.
For real, for real.
Give me another time. We shall take it.
I love that we're shooting this separately and then our husbands
Yeah. Together, yeah.
Because they're not even here.
They're not
No.
here.
Yeah.
I also don't want them to hear.
It's true.
I was already nervous by seeing them here, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that we're going to have lunch.
Yeah.
Take it away.
Have you said your name?
Yeah.
Ah.
Does she even need an introduction?
I don't know.
Don't
There's
think
there
so.
might be that one
People
person who
don't
might
know.
not know
Yeah.
her.
Oh, okay.
If you don't know Soila and Curtis, and you don't know,
Nadu, in my mind, I'm like, Nadu, if you don't know
if you don't know Soila, I don't know.
And
I
you're
don't know.
dating.
And
Yeah.
Or you're married.
even
you
you're
guy, my guy.
You're single.
no. I don't know what
If
you're
you're
doing.
single, these are the people to go to.
Yeah.
If you're courting, these are people to
Yes.
go. If you're
Yes.
married, these are the
Yes.
people who
Actually,
go to.
like
If
I
you're
think I've
parenting-
I've even said it on their channel
Yeah.
that I think you guys are one of the most underrated content. I think now is
true.
when
People are
seeing because you guys have a lot
Yeah.
of truth, and it's not
Aki.
truth that is it is truth.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
truth because you also live your lives like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I don't
what
think,
you
me, I
see
would even call
is
you
what you
content
get.
creators.
Even
I
me,
feel
you
like
guys,
you
this
guys
is
are
you're ministers.
you're like media ministers.
Yeah,
No, it's actually true. It's actually
true.
because I remember there's this one
You're a
video
media
or reel that I
person.
saw on your page,
Yeah.
and it was about like I think the title was something like random ways to love on
To
your
love-
spouse, on your spouse or
yes, I
something.
remember that
And I
one.
remember watching that, and I
Romantic.
was like, I can't remember the last time I just randomly loved on my
my
husband.
husband.
And I was like, you know,
Yeah.
that moment after watching that,
Yes.
I was
I
like,
need to put a
okay,
little effort.
exactly. You guys need to go to their page.
Yeah.
Come on, Soila and Curtis.
Soila and Curtis.
On Instagram, on YouTube, for the ladies, Soila Wamalwa on my platform.
And Nadra.
A natural woman, yes. So that's not my sort of woman stuff that I need the grace of Mothers by Grace. We will do together.
We're doing
things.
it
We will do
do things
together.
together. Yes, for sure.
Julia, your story. I think you should watch the intro and then thank you. So we have the question of the day. And the question of the day. So Soila, you normally have a question of the day. It's just a random question.
Okay.
It's like an icebreaker. So the question is, what characteristic does your children, sorry, it's children for you guys. What characteristics do your children have that represent who you are?
Oof. That's a good one. That's a very good one.
That's a very good one. You start.
Yeah. I think for my son I'd say he's a bit reserved because I'm also reserved.
Okay.
Like he doesn't. At times like he's extroverted,
Yeah.
but there are also times like he's just reserved. If like he just likes his
I know him
space.
as an extrovert, an
an
introvert. Yes.
exactly. He just likes his space, and I think I'm like that sometimes. So I like that. My daughter. I think what I enjoy is her just seeing how she gets like excited over like seeing. I think it's for all kids how you get excited being in the presence of people that you love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's all kids, but I really like that about her. Yeah.
I'd say my son, he is very aware of himself. I don't know if I am aware of myself, and he can be very sensitive, which I am too. My daughter is very intuitive, yes. And very, yes, I think that's the word. 2 years, she just turned 2, but she has tendencies that for sure, but honestly, apart from being intuitive, I think she's more of her dad or her dad's mom. That's what I'm saying. She's not as extroverted as I am. She's more of that side of the family. But we'll see as she grows up. Yeah.
Oh wow. I think for my firstborn, it's funny to call them
How
first
many
and
minutes?
lastborn. 1 minute. 1 minute apart. It's so funny. Anyway, for my Eden, I would say she's very playful, which I can be as well around, especially around people that I'm so comfortable with and they see my weirdness. So Eden, I would say very playful. Also very observant. Like she would just watch kids playing and try to see if she fits in or if she doesn't.
Yes.
And I tend to be the same way as well. And then my Zozo, she's a feeler. I'm also a feeler, aka I'm sensitive. So sometimes which also leads to being a compassionate person often at times. So Zoe is very compassionate. And I don't know exactly which word this is that describes it, but she takes a lot of my tone. So like if I'm frustrated, she takes on my frustrated tone. If I'm happy, she takes on my joyful, happy tone. So I don't really know where to place that necessarily, but she takes on a lot of my tone. Which is I'm like,
That's nice.
it can be.
It can be
For
something.
the good tone.
Mommy is frustrated, and then she does this thing. Eat it. Just like, oh my god, what did I do to this child?
Yeah, me, my son would tell when he's doing something wrong, we say, where? When now we start saying, where? Yeah,
And
it's
I'm like,
true.
I need to change my.
Copycat.
I know.
Oh, wow, lovely.
Yeah.
Tando. I feel like he's taking a lot from me. I think the biggest or the greatest one would be
Facial expressions.
Oh yeah, it's true.
facial expression.
Yeah,
But also your compassion and empathy.
Yeah.
So because we reached a point where Eddie's telling me I just need to let him fight other people, and because my son was like always being beaten
By my son.
I think also one of my daughters. I think one of my daughters as well.
So Eden and Kalel are very similar.
Yes.
Very similar.
Strong will.
Yeah.
Ooh, yes.
So there's that. He's very empathetic and sensitive, because I also noticed he doesn't like being shouted at. And I never, as a kid, actually even till today, if someone shouts at me, I'm shutting down. You're just left there in that conversation by yourself.
Yeah.
So I think he took that, and obviously now my facial expressions
Yeah,
when he's
sure.
upset,
Everything.
everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Topic of the day.
topic of the day.
Okay.
Rumble.
You know, I'm actually really nervous about this topic.
Guys, I'm so nervous.
I wish this thing takes a different tangent altogether.
I know. I love it on the same board because I'm like, this feels so.
Genuinely, I've been trying to ask myself, like, what am I going to say?
Yeah.
I think our audience are like, enough is enough.
And then, just going to me to say
Yeah.
something.
It's a hard topic.
That needs to be heard.
Because I remember someone in our YouTube section had asked us if either YouTube or Instagram.
It's Instagram.
Someone had asked us, "Hi guys, would you guys talk about sex and possibly bring a sex therapist?" I'm like, "Wait, hapo hatujafika hiyo mambo. Kwanza hata I'm not even sure first."
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, maybe we can try and talk about sex.
Sex.
In a balanced, healthy way.
In a balanced, healthy way. Me, I used to call it, adult roller coaster. Fun times. Adventure time. I don't know any other word. But yeah, so today that's our
Charlene
topic.
is fidgeting.
I know.
She's just this one. I'm like, Charlene, you're making us more nervous.
You're actually making us nervous, Charlene.
I do not want. I do not.
Do you know, you see, I told you guys we should have bought gum.
You should
Like I need a stress ball. Like I feel like I just want a rubber band or
band.
something.
Oh my god.
Just I am very nervous about this topic.
I'm also nervous because I don't know what to say. And then
We shall find the flow.
my motto, I think,
Let's move on.
I keep thinking about how I don't want to say, I can't give what I don't have. So I'm like, okay, what do I have and what do I want to share?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start here.
Okay, let's start
Okay,
somewhere.
let's just do it.
Okay.
So, the Bible talks about, how others, there are different various scriptures where you'd hear like the husband or the wife went to comfort and then they got pregnant. So, kuna hiyo, but no one talks about sex during pregnancy. So, I think that's the first thing. I'm like, are you what do you guys think about sex during pregnancy?
Yeah.
I don't think it's sinful. Personally, I don't think.
It's not.
Whether if it's enjoyable or not, I think it varies.
Yeah.
From my experience, I was told it's very enjoyable. I did not enjoy it because I felt like everything was swollen. So we tried, and I'm like,
Not my cup of tea.
first of all, the first half of the pregnancy we couldn't because
Yeah.
high risk.
Yeah.
After that, I'm like, who? No, we tried 5 different positions. We're like, you know what? Let's just sleep. Let's just
Not
sleep
working.
and wait a few more months. For me,
Yeah.
it was painful.
Yeah.
Ah.
And so I remember asking, I think so, I asked you. I'm like, hey. I'm like, you get to
Yeah, you did.
It does not feel nice.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. I'm not feeling nice. I'm
Yeah.
feeling pain.
Yeah.
I feel like my insides are swollen. Like that, like, you know, the best picture I can have. You know, the guys who have allergies and then they furrow their faces. That's how I felt inside.
Yeah, you felt like
Yeah.
you were
And it was
swollen.
more friction
Yeah.
than anything
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
for me, it was not working.
Yeah.
We did all sorts of things. I was just like, Braze, in fact, now you're making me upset.
Yeah.
So I don't know about you guys.
She has gone there.
She
has.
I'm so
Right
deep,
off the
like,
deep
yes,
end.
great. Deep end.
Like,
That's
hata
hata
warning. It's just
How do you want to like?
it's
oh,
okay.
you know,
It's okay.
Ay.
Let's start with our guests.
mukifanya bridal,
Let's start with
mukifanya
our
bridal
guests.
shower muliambiwa musivae kisengenge.
Yes, sengenge ni ng'ombe, don't wear
Sengenge ni ng'ombe,
omo. Ati huggies,
Let's
t-shirts over here.
You're
Hata
supposed to
nikwambia
wear.
ile lingerie yenye nilivaa honeymoon, and I think maybe the first year of marriage and I
Mi hata zangu hazinitoshi, zinafika
I also
hapa.
think I don't fit anymore.
Should actually talk about conversations during bridal party and then
Yeah.
after the
That
the
should
marriage.
be
now.
another.
That should be
Another
another
topic.
yes. What matched what?
There's so many ways to go with this topic. I'm just like so uncomfortable.
My goodness.
Anyway, you go.
I honestly, because I remember us having that conversation with you, but okay, first of all, I don't remember a lot of things. I don't know why. I don't remember offenses. Some offenses I don't remember. Some good times I don't remember. So I'll share based on what I remember. And I think for me, my first pregnancy was very smooth. So I don't even remember having a terrible time with intimacy in any way. So I think I enjoyed it more the entire time. You know, even they tell you like it induces
Labor.
labor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, even like
like, this is the activity for labor.
Yeah. But nothing. Yeah, no, it's nothing.
I remember my son was breech before giving birth. And I was like, probably it can help in also just, you know, they say be active
Yeah.
to create more room. I'm telling you the things that we
You tried.
we just try. But anyway, for me it was an experience that it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
First pregnancy, yes. Second pregnancy, for sure, it was tough. One, because my body felt different. I think because I got probably pregnant right after. I didn't have a long break.
Yeah.
So my body felt a bit different. Plus, it was during COVID. I got COVID. It was really tough. Second trimester was tough. First trimester, I had just... The moment, first of all, I did not know I was pregnant. Then I learned I was pregnant. And then here I am like, okay, let's understand. You know, if you don't know anything, sometimes your body behaves a certain way and you're okay until you know you're pregnant. And like, oh, okay, that's why I'm feeling this way and that way. And you start resenting some things.
Yeah.
But for me, I think I enjoyed the first trimester was tough. Beginning was okay for me. The intimacy was fine. At the end of first trimester, because I think I started having nausea and all that, body fatigue and all that, wasn't the most enjoyable activity. Mid trimester is when I properly got COVID. It was just a lot of stuff, sickness, body pains. I was in so much pain. Couldn't move a lot. I had a hip pain that I couldn't walk. It was just very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And for me, I think I give my all. So if one part of my body is not okay, even if I'm not okay emotionally, it's something that I'm like, you know, sio lazima we do this.
Yeah.
It takes a lot for me to be in one centered mood of being part of this nice activity.
I tell you, maintenance.
Yeah, you know.
maintenance you're not really feeling so but you know for maintaining the marriage ni kama nani take maji coolant
But we are still okay. Yeah, we are still okay. We are still healthy. Yeah.
What is happening?
And third trimester, I think I was back to it, which is okay. So I can't really say that it was an uncomfortable thing to be part of. But one thing that for sure was present is communication.
yeah
We really communicated about that because if it's for a husband, I don't think it's fair enough to keep on pushing them away and they don't understand why.
yeah
So we really had to be open in as far as conversations like, Swela, this is what I'm feeling. And I'm like, okay, I understand. This is how I'm feeling. So where is the middle ground in all this? What do we do? And I'm really happy I have a very understanding husband who would give me time and space. Sometimes you think you're very selfish and I've thought about it a number of times. I'm like, am I so selfish? But just wanting time out in some of these things. And I'm not selfless. I'm not giving of myself to my husband in this time. But he's still very understanding and says, it's okay, we don't have to be part of, we don't have to indulge in this activity. There are various ways of still being intimate.
yeah
Without, you being there, doing the S thing. So we had that conversation a lot.
Yeah.
It was, I think because it's a critical part in a marriage, we really need to have that conversation.
Yes.
And not just assume things. Now that you're
Yes.
pregnant, it's not going to happen. Or now that you're pregnant, your hormones are everywhere. I would say first trimester for me, hormones are just not working.
Yep.
I do not desire it at all. I don't desire it at all. But again, the place of God. God, this is a matter that is really overwhelming. My body is feeling a certain way. What is your plan? Should he be left? But sometimes we talk as though it's just a need of a husband.
That's
How much is like just a need of a husband?
Like I remember, I think in our first, I think for me, I've been in, just case in point, I was in this bridal shower. Again, it's a bridal showers.
Yeah.
And it was for like older, mature women, our mom's age. And they were saying, you just have to always give them, even when you don't feel like, and things like that. So for me, the perception that I was already married that time. So the perception I have and the question I have, I think in the olden days, the fact that people wouldn't have such conversations is that it was seeming that like intimacy is just for the man to enjoy. It's not that you as a woman you don't enjoy. And I think that's a thing for me that I don't like, because you're always told like it's true, it's a need for a man, but it's also a need for
you as a man.
you also. Like you're married to sit there, look at each other. It's not
You have to wait for him.
It's true.
Yeah. So it's a need that it's both ways. And also you I think the conversation that I remember us having is like, I also desire. It's not like, it can easily look like I don't desire my husband anymore. It's like, I also desire you, but my body, the way sometimes it feels the way it's feeling right now, it's not really ready for that. So probably other things. Is it going out for date? Is it walking? Is it, watching a movie? Is it what? So that the intimacy is not really reduced to that activity. Because people can fall sick and bedridden for a very long time. Does that mean now because the intimacy part of the relationship, the sex part of the marriage is not there, does that now mean that
you're not married?
It's over?
It's true.
It's over.
That's true.
I like that.
I think for me it was so. I remember just piggybacking off of women wanting sex as well, or physical intimacy. I think for me, I remember my first trimester. I was just tired. I was so fatigued. I did nothing but sleep.
Oh yes.
Honestly, I woke up. I was tired. As in the only thing inaniamsha ni chakula. Like the only thing. Exactly. The first trimester. It's so bad. Like that's the last thing on my mind.
It's
in my first trimester. It's the last thing on my mind. And I remember my second trimester when I was starting to get my energy back. That's when I was talking to my husband. I was like, do you want to try? And I remember, and I'm the one who approached him.
I love that.
And he was like, okay, this is kind of weird. Like I can't even see past my belly. So like how
It was already big for you now because you're carrying.
it was huge. So it's like I couldn't even see below my belly. I was like, oh God, what is happening
what's
here?
happening here?
But I remember feeling very like I could the moment I sensed change was when I was pregnant. That's the moment I knew, okay, there's something, it's either a gap or something new when it comes to physical intimacy already. And these kids are not even here yet. That's as soon as I knew. Kuna venye itabidi tumejaribu.
adjust.
You have to adjust and you know. But I remember just being so distraught about it, honestly. Because I remember I was like, I don't like that. I don't like the change. Like, honestly speaking, I didn't like the change. I didn't like how my body looked. I didn't, I was so self-conscious, and I didn't know if my husband desired me at the same time. And I was just like, what do we do here? Like, what happens after these children of ours come? Like, that's the moment, I don't know, it just all came flooding in. And I was very aware of like, and these are the things, I personally didn't have that many pregnant friends. And I was in the US and I didn't know many people at the same time in a new country. Not like I was surrounded by my husband and his family, thank God. But I didn't have a community of moms. So I didn't even know how to ask, who to ask. Is this conversations you have, or do you just learn as you go? So me, I was just learning in the job. And then when I remember, when that moment happened, I was like, I didn't even know how to go about it or how to navigate it. And you mentioned communication, Soila, and I remember not even knowing how to have this conversation with my husband. Because we've never had an awkward moment. Ever. Like my entire time as friends, as when we started courting, when we got married, we've never had an awkward moment. So when it happened, I was like,
Sasa hapa tunafanya nini?
Sips water.
Crickets. And I think up to date, we're still trying to figure out our place with that. Like our kids are like it's easy to blame the kids, but we also have a role to play in wanting to pursue each other in that way physically. But
I like that.
I'll just leave
Things
it
change.
I like that you said that, because I think for me, one of the things that I kept thinking about, maybe that was also the reason why my body was so tense, was like there's someone inside me.
Are you fearful of something happening to the baby?
I'm like, what if it goes too deep and the sack breaks? Let me tell you.
and the sack.
I was like, wait, what?
Oh, God.
But it's not like it's a pin.
I'm in my head, I'm thinking, Money, how hard are you going? That's what I'm thinking. It's like, aggressive.
Holy
There are people who are aggressive. Okay, I don't know. Like
at the moment. It depends on what's happening. The energy is extra.
Your energy as
I am
two
so
people.
okay.
Those are some of the things that I think what I was thinking about later. I'm like, I know they can't see, but if they can hear, like they can hear.
They can hear the emotions.
They don't hear anything.
They don't hear. They know the emotions.
They know the emotions,
Oh,
and
okay.
it's also like
walking.
biologically, it's. You see, like it's good because it brings you're increasing blood flow to yourself, which is also beneficial to your child.
It's a feeling good.
Exactly.
Even
when you have good hormones, like those two good. What are they called?
Feel good hormones.
Endorphins. Yes, those endorphins. They're also good for good
something.
Like even for your child, it's also like even when you're pregnant, it's also good.
So it's a good thing.
Because if a mother is happy, I mean, the
happy.
the body is happy and energetic. That's
I
it.
felt like that poke in the boing boing. Like maybe I'm like maybe that's what that's what they're hearing.
What is this conversation?
Anyway, so that was that one. And then came postpartum.
Oh, before we go there, I think for us, I had to ask the doctor if it's safe to indulge in sexual activity during pregnancy, because first time mom, you don't know what's happening. And then I think because my first trimester, I had a bit of discomfort. I think again ligaments adjustments and all that. So I did not know if
that too.
Having sex is going to put extra pressure on the belly. Is it risky? Is it all that? But I think the moment I got a green light from the doctors, you know what? It's just fear of
Yeah,
it's true.
the fear that you have, but
Yeah.
he said it's safe. It's safe. Unless he himself tells you that
No.
because of your cervix, because of whatever.
Yeah, if you didn't
Yeah.
if you don't have like underlying issues,
Issues,
like maybe
yeah.
you have a low-lying placenta,
Yes, low-lying placenta.
or
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
bleeding during pregnancy
Ooh,
and things like that, then
yes.
it's okay, because now like that activity can also increase like pressure and things like that. So yeah.
You've said that, and I remember he had also told me, it's like,
Yeah.
don't be afraid.
Yeah,
I think they know.
yeah. I think they
But
also
then I'm
know.
like, also, okay, let me just go there, because for me, since we tried a number of positions, there are those ones, me for real. Like if you're lying down there, you feel heartburn.
But let me. I just I feel like the mine are starting to come back right now.
Because you said that and I
Recollection of those
remembered. I'm
stitches.
like, and then because I had nausea for such a long time.
Yeah, but your pregnancy was
your
a
that pregnancy was bad.
Yeah.
I'm just like, candles, even waxing
Yeah.
was an issue, because
Yeah.
you'd see he's moving,
Yeah.
running away from the wax.
Yeah.
Like when she's here, the tumbo, you see he's all the way up here. Anyway.
Your pregnancy was a spoiler.
So now I'm like,
Yeah.
I tried them, I'm like, I'm feeling heartburn. Like,
I feel like, and I think that just makes your body tense,
Yeah.
and the entire process is just not as enjoyable.
It's not
as it should
enjoyable.
be. I think the moment you just tense, that's it.
Yeah, I think
That's
for us, I remember just there's a time like now, like I think it was my first pregnancy, like where my belly was so big, so we were trying to find adjustments and it was not working. So like we took a pillow and lying on a pillow, like we tried to make it actually comfortable for you.
yeah, it's true, because the bigger you, let me
The
tell
bigger
there's
you are,
this
it's
app
difficult.
that we all have.
Yeah,
The what you
baby
expect.
center.
Baby center.
Yeah.
I think they had one for like
Yeah,
what
sex
to do
during
sex
pregnancy.
nanny.
Yeah,
Like you had the pillows, we tried all of them. Kama
was
ikupatia heartburn.
Yeah.
So I was like, what?
Oh my god, I am really, really sorry, but I say
Maybe
mama,
next pregnancy.
it will be better.
Yeah, this one refused.
But it's interesting. So you take, but again, if first trimester is hard like that,
Yeah.
second trimester your belly is as big as second and third trimester your belly is as big as. But I think I got a better surge of good emotions and vibes and energy third trimester, and that's I think for me, I think it was now easy for me to indulge in physical intimacy. I didn't have a problem about it. It was so good for me. I enjoyed it and all that. But first trimester, honestly, it's tough, as you said, because of the beginning, building the fetus and all those things, and just what without being pregnant, I love to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now with pregnancy,
It's
it's
like-
another thing. It's
another-
a drag. I just want to sleep.
Your body's alive. It's like on hibernation.
Hibernation,
I just want to survive like this. But
Yeah. So now, the second part of it is postpartum, and I think that's the longest period because
Oh yeah.
we're still in postpartum.
We're
So now
still
for
in
me,
postpartum.
one of the things that I had, like, because we got C-sections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there wasn't much. No.
Sola is
Sola is the only person who has
a proper
did
kwa
see
ground,
us.
I did.
kwa ground experience on
Different.
what it's like after.
Yeah.
I'm actually interested in knowing.
Look at this one.
Sisi tulikuwa na CS.
Yeah.
So me, I think after it's 3 months.
Also, you cleared.
For when you're cleared.
Yeah, it's
No,
3
like
months.
even 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Me by the to be
It's
honest,
for everyone,
by 4 weeks,
You're
like
ready.
my first, I was actually ready to have
I
sex.
love
Are
that.
you serious?
I was so ready to
Why
have
you
sex.
done that?
Yeah.
So
Kalel.
Yeah, after Kalel. But
Yeah,
now,
I think I took
some
2
a friend
months.
of mine told
3
me
months.
I shouldn't do it then because of the CS, because it was, I think she did it early and it was uncomfortable. It was actually quite painful because of the scar.
What's painful? The scar.
The
part?
The scar part, yeah. The scar, and also, your insides are also healing.
Yeah.
Because you're cut so
The
many
layers.
layers.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
So she told me, just wait, don't do it at 4 weeks. Wait until like your baby's a bit
Yani,
old. When
Washo,
you're
you
born.
were ready at 4 weeks.
Imagine I was.
Wow.
I actually was ready at 4 weeks.
The
but we
Lord
didn't
of
end up
Washo.
having sex, I think maybe like at 2 months or something when I was not, But
I
the
think
first
for me
time
it took
after
3
CS
months.
was also not
For sure.
fun. Yeah, it was not fun.
So for me, I think 3 months in is when I was like ready and open to the idea. But then I struggled because of how at 3 months you still have the pooch-ish. So now my body was not feeling the same. And then there's the reality of dealing with, am I attractive? Or I think for me, I don't know. It was just really hard. Just accepting the new body that I had. And I'm like, Kai, will he accept the body that I have now? So we did. I can't say after the first time after postpartum I felt the fireworks. Hiyo ndio ile sasa maintenance mode inaingia, ile kucheck coolant kwa gari.
Kuna oil, kuna maji ya wipers iko kama bado.
I think for me there was that, and then enter postpartum tired, being
Fatigue.
tired, fatigue all the time. It took such a long time for just that libido to come back for me. I think sometimes I still struggle with it. And yeah, I can just say I think it was just that. But the biggest issue for me was that fatigue. And to some extent, I felt like what you're feeling, I'm like, Guy, Lord, these kids are not going to be here forever. So, but is it selfish for me to say I'm tired? Like, I felt like I'm tired, always leaking. Always leaking. Because me, I had to have sex with my intimacy with
A
my
lot of-
bra. I couldn't do it without, because as soon as this is done, this milk.
And then also that's another thing that also like you think about, it's just like, oh God,
it's in the back of your head.
I found myself, I'm no longer just thinking about it the way it was.
It
And then
used to be
what
without the
this
children.
used to be attractive for me.
Yeah.
Now I'm seeing it as like a thermos. So, a walking thermos. So it's no longer something that I feel should be appealing. And like, it's like either a thermos or a spoon. It's a feeling chamber. Why are you touching my feeling chamber? Lord, I love it. So, anyway, there's something called Sela. I'm like,
stuff. Sweet stuff.
I thank God for you, because there's no one else I could ask this question. So I called him like, hey, when you're doing those things, do you wear a bra? That's what she did. She laughed. And then I'm like, you didn't tell me these things. Like, no, you have to get there.
It can be your own experience, man. But
So she's like, you can do it. That I'm like, but I leak a lot. She's like, maybe just try. So I'd wear the bra and pads, just in case. Like,
Just
what
for
if you get?
safety.
And then now I'm like, what if you get excited and then milk spills out?
Oh, you start crying and then your milk spills out. Yes. Yeah.
you guys a lot of milk now.
Yeah, no, it talks about like let me tell you. There's a day I think now with my second child, because I think now that's when, and that's very for me. Let me go there first. Like, so we're having like a post-mite or counseling class like with our Pasi, and we're talking about intimacy by then. He was just telling us just some things, and then I was like, Aki, but now like you're being intimate with your person, and then milk spills, like, and things like that, because because it's good, it's those good hormones.
You just feel over here let down.
You actually have
So they tell you don't have stress when you're feeding your baby, so that let down maziwa can just come out easily.
So like that let down, so it feels okay to me. It feels weird, and
It
just
is,
like, where is my husband?
See, feeding chambers.
Me in my head, I'm thinking, this is liquid gold. You stop and feed your child, then come back, or is the moment gone? Like, what is happening?
I don't think I experienced milk coming out for me.
Yeah.
First of all, I didn't have. You guys are producers.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
You was
I
okay.
was
Me too.
trying.
I wasn't. I was struggling, so I really didn't have those moments of probably
Let
having
down,
the only time let down would come was when I'm showering. That's the only time, because the shower is hot and everything. That's the I'm like, if you are able to come out this much when I'm feeding my baby, I'll be very happy. We're not using formula. But that's very interesting. Yeah, had you finished? Hadn't finished actually your part.
Oh yeah, so there was that. And then now you're going to Google, no one's really talking about it. And then
Who's talking about
people
that?
are not, yeah, but these are
People don't
things you need to
talk
talk
about
about. Like,
these
is it
things,
awkward?
yeah.
Like, is it awkward to feel like when you're
Lactating. You're lactating.
yeah, when you're feeding chambers, is it awkward to feel like your hubby touching your feeding chambers at that point? Because me, I'm like, wow, you're gonna touch me, milk will come out.
Yeah.
Oh, you just feel, and then now there's milk. I'm like, well, so you're in the middle of bonding, and then now you start thinking, wow, if I pump that, I'm gonna get maybe 100, 150. And like,
Yep.
so you've already started leaving the child.
It's the
The mind, your mind is in different places.
So your brain changes, and then now
You're not even there, man.
insert. Now let's say if your child is in a separate. I used to think something. Ama we put them like in the another room, or so that they don't hear you.
Yeah.
So then there's that first
There's
thought
a lot
for
of things.
it comes back. I'm like, hey, okay, so and then you hear, I'm like, is he okay? And he's like, listen, he's fine.
Yeah.
He's fine.
Yeah, and then you can tell like when your spouse has checked out. You
yeah,
can
you can
tell
tell,
when
sure.
they're in or have checked out, and it's very easy to tell. And then also I'm trying to think it from like your man's perspective. If they feel you've checked out, they probably feel bad or
Of course they
something.
would. I mean,
And even if you feel like they've checked out, I don't think they check out, but I think they check out to their dad. Yeah.
Even when the breast milk comes out, they don't check out.
That's why you wear bra.
I don't know.
That's why you
Oh,
wear
I-
bra and breast pads.
I think-
the highest quality.
Oh my god.
I think that's the moment to have. I don't know, but the same way they say physical intimacy is a beautiful thing, and both of you learn one another during that process.
Yeah.
I think for us, yes, there are moments we've laughed during the process for sure. We have
We
laughed.
laugh,
We have had conversations in that process. I think that's where the beauty of probably being friends and just accommodating one another during the process. Like even like during pregnancy, like, yo, bro, that one is hard for me.
one
Can we
is
do
not-
something
can
else?
we-
You
can
know,
we switch?
can we try something different? I think the conversation, we have honestly laughed during some of those processes because, as Charlene had said, it's a different dynamic completely.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have been disrupted before when you're in the middle and then the baby cries and like, guys, it's the end of this.
This one I can remember. The first time now, like we had sex with my firstborn.
Yeah.
Literally, I hadn't even gone
End of
far.
the
The boy
party.
started crying, and that was me. I've checked out. I'm going to get my baby. Bye.
That's postpartum.
So that time I remember we were, and then so us we had the co-sleeper, those bassinets,
Yeah.
and I remember my only child at that point just said, Ed.
Don't just touch my mama. Just my
Oh my god.
And then I'm like, shh.
You're waking up me up. Keep quiet.
My hubby is like, bro, out here.
Oh my god. It's
But that
really-
bought us like 5 minutes. And then
does.
we finally woke
I don't
up.
finally woke up, but it's very interesting, man. But honestly, like body wise for me, postpartum was. We also took like those 6 weeks. One because for me mine was vaginal birth and everything, the healing process. I had episiotomy, the whole thing. It was a totally different experience. But after my firstborn, I honestly think my experience with physical intimacy was way better.
Do you know,
before
I was
children.
actually gonna say the same thing.
It was way better
I
before
feel
children.
like sex is better
After children.
after children.
Okay, that was my experience for me.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So I had started dilating.
I don't know. I honestly feel like it's
what's
better
the
now
correlation
than
between
To see what
dilating and
Doctor
Is there a correlation?
on call had said about how the nanny becomes happy after you.
Your cervix?
Oh yeah.
Your cervix.
After they start dilating, it
Your
kind of
cervix
changes.
becomes
It was a
happy.
cervix. It changes.
Yeah, your
They call
cervix.
it
Cervix moves.
a happy nanny because it becomes wider or something. I can't.
Yeah, he
She
mentioned
knows.
something like that. I don't know the correlation
remember
between
that sounds painful to me, but
No, see, because the baby passes through.
Yeah.
And then
So
there's
it's-
it kind of widens in a way. That's why people who've already had that vaginal birth can easily get the copper T nanny
Oh, the
inserted.
copper, the IUD.
Yeah, the IUD.
Okay, I've never had, I didn't know of that
Okay.
biology in any way. If
I had, but
cervix-
sasa mi hata nilifika 7
cervix
months.
change.
So
But for me, it wasn't different. It was completely different from. I remember having this conversation with my husband. I'm like, what were we doing before children? Probably for the man is the same. I don't know if it's. I don't know if for men they have different
think
experiences.
they'll talk about
They'll talk
their
about it.
experience.
Before children
their
and after
body doesn't
children.
change.
Their body doesn't change.
Their body doesn't
For me as a
change.
woman, it did. Charlene is very quiet.
Yeah.
Charlene is very quiet. Now we are keeping quiet. Charlene is very quiet. Charlene, postpartum twins.
I was listening. You guys have so many good things to say.
yeah, but they should tell us postpartum
I
twins.
think, yeah, postpartum twins. Yeah.
Keep
It's not
trying
all. It's
this
not all.
conversation.
Like you see, it's not all. Like it's not all. It's not all like rosy and all
Yeah.
that in
No.
terms
True.
of things like that.
Yeah.
Because I think for me, like with my first kid, I was fine. But now with the second born, like I think even mentally, I wasn't there. I was trying to
my
figure out how I'm taking care
Care
of
of
two
two
kids.
people.
And then now you're doing night shifts. You're very tired. Like we'd go like 3 months. We've not had.
Yeah.
Like we've not been intimate with each other.
Yeah.
That's like 3 months. And in a marriage, it's supposed to be. There's no like duration time, but it's something that you're supposed to
Frequent.
like it's frequent. And now you see those things, you're just like me. I was like, I think the first few months of my second pregnancy, I was like completely, I did not want. It wasn't the same with Kalel. I think it's because also I wasn't okay. Like I was the mental load of motherhood, or you have
Two
of
children.
two
Two under two.
two under two, like so many things, even your own life, your own emotions you're trying to deal
Yeah.
with. It's not I don't know. For me, that was the last thing in my mind, by the way. Like, honestly, genuinely, that was the last thing on my mind, yeah.
I
Like
think
post-
that's the same for me too.
Yeah.
Which is why in my head I'm like, why? Like I'm listening to your experiences and I'm like, I had a completely different
Yeah,
experience,
yeah.
and not in any positive way. Because I
Yeah.
remember, I think the mistake I did, and this is, I know other women have done this and it's worked, but the mistake I did was after the 6 weeks checkup, I immediately got a IUD, a hormonal IUD. So I didn't even know what was postpartum and what was the effects of the So that's like, because I was so scared of being pregnant again. I didn't want any more twins. I didn't want any more kids. Like I'm still trying to feel. And then my husband told his meniscus.
Yeah.
Mimi nimefanya CS. I have twins. Like I'm trying to learn how to breastfeed. I'm trying to do these night shifts. Like they go to sleep. I still have to wake up and pump and like. So by
You
the time
have two newborn.
I know. So
Ay.
I immediately went to survival mode. Like I
I
have to
know.
do
I
everything
can imagine.
possible to survive. And then
Yeah.
like our situation, like everything involving around our family situation was really hard because Gabe's family at that time had COVID.
Yeah.
Like everyone, his mom, his dad, and we couldn't really allow his brothers to come in because it was just a whole thing with
was
health.
just the
It was
two of
just
you.
the two of us, and he has a torn meniscus. So at this point, it's just me. So in that moment, like physical intimacy is literally the last thing on my mind. And I don't even know how long I went or how long we went. And I think it was a long time before I was like, oh wait, there's this thing where husbands and wives do that,
It's not happening
It's
here.
not happening here.
Yeah.
So it was very, I don't know, for me, again, surviving. I was like lunch, dinner, breastfeeding, pumping, cleaning. Taking care of my husband. I was just like so exhausted, like exhausted mentally, physically. And then it wasn't until a year or so, I think we came to Kenya which year? I think was it last year? 2021.
Yeah. Wait.
2022.
You actually.
22?
No.
Actually,
Last year,
yeah,
2022.
Yeah,
you
last
actually
year.
came last year. Yeah.
That's when I still hadn't taken my my family planning out. So I was still going through trying to figure out what is my body, what is my emotions, why am I like this, things like that. But it wasn't until we came back that I started to really journal and really think about myself. Like, why do I feel angry all the time? Why am I irritated all the time? Why am I frustrated all the time? Like, why am I not happy? Why am I not joyful? So, and that helped that my kids were old enough and got some independence that I was able to kind of take a step back in some way
Yeah.
and really like think about my marriage, my individuality, so it wasn't until just last year, which was one of the hardest years of my life. But it was one of those things where I was like, that's when I also decided to take it out, because I was like, okay, let me figure my body out without this interruption. And I think that's when I started regaining, my husband and I started regaining that intimacy, not to its complete full form as it was before. I don't know if it ever comes back. Does it? I don't know.
It gets better.
But that's we're still figuring it out.
But it gets better. I mean, actually, it gets better.
I think for me, I think I had to get to a place where I genuinely had to pray about it.
Yeah.
It's also
Because for me, I feel like because I take in so much, and I don't know how I grew up. When I think about it, how I grew up in a household where you don't really complain. You get things done. So if this needs to be done, you do it. Because most of the time, my mom was traveling, so it was just me and maybe the nanny, but mostly me. So I'm like, if I need food, I just go make my own food. So I think carrying that, and obviously having a preemie and all these things, I honestly felt like my libido, if it was really bad, it became worse. And then now add there's that pooch, whatever tummy that you're looking at, you can't even relate with.
Yeah.
Your body is feeling like, I don't know what. I felt like this thermos became like extra large. So I felt so heavy up top.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at myself, my guy, I've become a number 9.
Yeah.
number 9.
I literally visualize it to know what she's
What do you mean? Yeah,
Like
exactly.
mwili yake.
Yeah.
So there was that. And I remember just praying. I'm like, hey God, even though this guy keeps saying, you look nice, like I'd literally run away from my husband sometimes because he's like, hey, hi babe. I'm like, where?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Me, by then there are times I have, to
Run
be honest,
away.
I have run away. I've said, okay, I'm tired. And I'm actually not. I just lied. I just like, I'm just.
I've not said I have a headache.
Yeah.
Because it's so hard. Here's the thing that really bothers me sometimes. So it's like when your babies are so young, like they're constantly being carried. You constantly have to, like, they are on you.
Yeah.
Like, how do you find that balance of like you're being constantly touched, but you also your husband is there wanting to touch you because obviously he loves you and all that. But it's how do you deal with that? Manage that?
You said that. And a few months ago, we had a conversation with Ed, and I told him, from where I am currently, I don't like touch at all because my son is always on top of me.
Yeah.
If he's not, he's over. So I was telling him, by the time he gets home, I feel like I'm touched out. So now my husband comes and touches me. I'm like, oh Lord, another touch. Because it reached a point I'd run away from my own child also.
Yeah.
Like
We
I
all
go lock
run away
myself.
from our children.
I have entered my closet and closed it and sat there because I don't want to be touched. But I think after I told him that is when he realized, I think he even saw it for himself, like how my son is always just hover. Like he hovers, sometimes I feel like he hovers more than the Holy Spirit, man. This guy, just
All over the place.
I'm like, bro, I need to breathe. Can you go there? No.
Yeah.
So he got to understand, and he became. I appreciate that fact that sometimes it comes like, are you feeling touched out? I'm like, and there are days I'm like, no. Then he's like, okay. He's like, I touch you. So I joke, I'm like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. I've touched you today. So
Yeah.
there's that also. And I think we're still trying to figure it out. But what helped is communicating that, hey, today I just feel touched out.
Yeah.
I honestly think the beauty of navigating physical intimacy during pregnancy, post-pregnancy, is the aspect of being present for one another. There are days that I'm not, as you said, I'm not there. One, because of the weight of being a mother. And there are those days that even if you're fatigued and you're tired, but just how your husband is such a support system during that time, you also feel attracted to them. The moment you feel less attractive to them, or you yourself already, as you said, your body is changing, you don't look attractive, you don't think they find you attractive, for sure, the flap is bigger, you're leaking, you're smelling like breast milk all the time, you shower in the morning, midday, in the evening, but still, you have patches of milk, you know how it looks like. And it's not attractive, but they still appear supportive in the best way they could during that time. For me, I think those are the moments that still made me feel attracted to him. That even physical intimacy was lightened, sort of. It wasn't such a hard mile to cover before putting my head there. It would be like, leave the baby with the nanny. Let's go out. Let's go for tea, even if it's like 30 minutes. We'll be back. The extra attention that he extends to you during that period of postpartum, during that period of pregnancy, I think made it easier for myself. Because I'm like, you really still do care. Even if I have these thoughts. I know, as you said, they can tell you look pretty and all that, but you
don't
know for
believe
sure.
it.
I smell like milk. I don't believe it.
You know that
1 second.
smell for when your lochia is coming out.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It smells
nasty.
Yeah,
It's
it's
actually nasty.
constantly
It's so
bleeding.
bad.
Your
Bad.
It's nasty.
postpartum is so crazy, guys. And they still are there and desiring. And I'm like, how do you still desire those things? Particularly if they've been in the room while you're giving birth and all those things. You're like, how is this still such a humongous desire? But
Bado naitaka.
What? I think my question for you, Soila, how was it post now, like coming back to having sex after a vaginal birth? Like how
Do you feel like it was better?
do you feel like it was in terms of like the pain, because you've had an episiotomy? It's it's different if you've had a C-section than a vaginal birth.
A lot of communication. That's why I'm saying we talked a lot during the process itself.
Okay.
Like from the beginning, I'm like, is that okay? I'm like, no. I think I'm ripping. You have those thoughts of, I think I'm ripping again. My stitches are coming apart.
Where?
Imagine, it's like that. I was like, okay, I don't think I'm in the green zone yet. I think it's red zone. So, but he was very understanding and very careful, very caring, and very gentle. Honestly speaking, it's a conversations of, are you sure you're ready? I'm like, I wouldn't know until we tried. 6 weeks in Asia, I wouldn't know until we tried. And even during the trial period, you are very careful. And there are certain movements that for sure you can feel your first of all, I think the beginning, it's more tighter than it used to be. One, because of the episiotomy. I don't know sometimes how they do it. I'm like, this is so different for me.
It's real balance.
Yeah. Unless they balance it and all that. So actually, it's funny, when I get back to my second born, so my husband has stepped out because I think my baby, they're trying to remove something from her nose or something. So sometimes they do those weird things. They tell the man to step, because me, I can't see. So you're told to go out. And then this nurse was just doing the stitching.
So you also had an episiotomy with
No, for Imora, it wasn't. It just by itself. I think the previous, I think it just by itself. Because she was 4 kgs. I didn't expect that. Wow. And I had an episiotomy and my son was 2.9. So imagine a 4 kg. I was like, what's happening? So 4 kgs, I think it ripped back by itself. But now she was showing, and then she asked me when my husband is outside, like, I can go past the normal area of stitching. It's good for yes. It's a gift to your husband. And I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, no, I need to ask my husband. He's like, no. You don't have to call him in. I'm just doing you a favor. I can stitch you beyond a specific. I'm like, so I can make it tinier. And I'm like, no, I have to involve my husband.
Yeah.
This is not just my own body. You know,
yeah.
I need to.
Body.
She
It's his
could
body
not.
also,
Yes, she could not understand why I have to involve Castis in this because I refused. She said, "You know what? I'll just do as
normal.
I'll just do as you please." But she was really fighting for my husband's right in that labor room. Your legs are being serious. Is like, should I go? I'm like, madam, please no. And then I'm not in the headspace to think about it.
You just give that to a baby.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then I said, I'll never go to that hospital again. Because of some of those things. But yeah, and she really found me weird. But either way, for me, the sexual intimacy itself after birth has been an amazing experience. Beginning, yes, a lot of adjustments because you don't know how you're healed. You don't know how to maneuver things around. And again, I understand cervix do move. It shifts sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a beautiful experience. For me, I think it has been. For us, not for me, for us. It's an activity of two people, man.
That's true.
It's been a beautiful experience, but conversation really made it a bit more easier. During, after, and even in preparation for it, you know.
I feel like sometimes I still find it weird having such conversations with my spouse.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like we have to have those conversations, but sometimes I'm like, sasa nimwambia aje?
Tunaanzia
Ama
wapi?
tunaanzia wapi? Nasema nini?
So babe, so unaonaje hii mambo?
I remember there's one time my husband would constantly ask, "What do you like?" And I'm like, I don't know. I just don't know what I like. I'm trying to understand
It's true, yeah.
what I like.
I will know, and in the process,
Exactly.
I will know. You just try. You will not, that's what I like. No, that's what I don't.
It's like, stop. Okay, no, try. This conversation means like no one prepares you for this.
No one
No
does.
one prepares you for this. It's like having this conversation mid-sex is like,
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Like my face is trying to communicate what I'm thinking.
We're just like that, and then my hubby's like, so like this. I'm like, where you just
Do it.
I don't want to think about other things.
Yeah.
I'm trying to enter nothing box.
Which is so hard for mothers in
It's
general.
so hard.
Women,
It's so
most
hard.
women, most mothers, I think,
It's
to do to
hard.
just enter that.
Like us at times, like we
It's a scary
like you're in the middle of what you're
Yeah.
doing, and then you hear your child because my daughter is still in our room. We are just in a separate place, so you're just like you hear her waking up, and I'm just like, God, okay.
it
So do
has
we finish, or do we just stop, or we just leave
or
it
do you
there?
finish
I think
faster?
there are levels.
so
I think
fun.
there are levels. There are those ones you can say, okay, we're just in the beginning.
Yeah,
Let's pick the
yeah,
baby. I think there's also like, oh, sorry, you
Yeah.
just keep crying.
Yeah, there are times you locked the door. We're like, we locked the door.
That's true. Yeah.
Just crying.
It's like we'll figure it out baadaye. Wacha alie.
I
Yeah.
think for us, the weirdest stage was, when they become toddlers and they can walk, because we
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's dangerous.
we had moved him, and then you're just there, doing your thing, and then you hear like his bed moving from afar, and then my husband is normally the first one to hear these things.
It's very sensitive to
He's like,
sounds. Like, huh, what's that?
At that point, he's like, this kid's about to wake up. I'm like, babe, we have 5 minutes.
That is a lot.
5 minutes, I'm not. It's African speech. Like, fast
Yeah.
and surely. In like 2 minutes, you just hear.
That's how things
You hear him trying to fidget
open
in
the
the
door. That's the end of it.
That's the end of
But those are the adjustments now with
when they
parents.
start,
Like
Now, when
yeah.
Ile are moving them, I remember how one of the things that made us think about moving was he reached a point where I lift kichwa. And like I didn't want my child to be
To see
those
such
people who are like,
things.
I saw my parents doing
Yeah.
like 10 or 18 years later, they're like, wow, by that time I lifted my head
And I
and I saw my what were they doing?
Yeah.
Were they doing this? I don't know.
Yeah.
Adjustments,
Yeah.
transitions, and all that.
I like that word adjustment. Because it's actually, you have to actually
is
make
adjusting.
adjustments
True.
in your mind.
Yeah, you have to be
You have
open
to be open.
to adjustment.
Yeah.
You have to
But,
talk.
but still keeping one another's priority.
That's important.
Yeah, keeping one another's priority. Again, as you've said before, sex is not the ultimate. It's not the only way of being intimate with one another. If it's a part that is for sure, it's very hard in that season. We have to figure out other
Another
ways
way.
of being connected, because we can easily lose that connection when we are mothers. To newborns and all, we can completely lose it and forget about the men and just focus if the kids are okay and all that. I think it's a nurturing instinct that kicks in, and I think I'm honestly grateful. My husband, there's one time told me with the second born, I think you have forgotten me somehow. It's so hurting. It hurt me because I'm like, I know I have, because it was tough for me postpartum, but just coming around and I'm like, and that's when we started asking each other the questions of, in this season, how can I be a better spouse to you? How can I be a better wife? How can I be a better husband to you in this season? What are some of the things that you want me to help you carry? How do you want me to support you? Because seasons do come and change. Like, if sex is not in the picture in this season, because I mean, those 6 weeks, they don't die.
It's true.
Just so you don't die. There are also those times like, you also initiate, because even with the hormones changing, there are those times you're like, the one on fire, like,
I'm
bro,
really
where are
happy
you?
today.
Yeah, happy.
No, this is it to my birthday.
It's like, what's that special occasion?
Special occasion, sis. What's happening?
What have I done?
I think also going the extra mile of, we also need to initiate.
Yeah, that's
When
it's
we're in
true.
the space to do that,
It's true.
can we initiate? Not
Yeah.
wait for them to initiate.
It's
They're like,
true.
I'm not so sure if she's still ready, she's okay and all
Yeah,
that.
it's true.
If we're in that healthy space, head-wise and even body-wise, we can initiate this thing, so that they also just don't feel like, hey, I'm always pursuing and always, it's like
true.
he's the only one who
Yeah,
wants.
I think there's also that added aspect of not just that, but also feeding from it, like knowing how your spouse receives love. So I know, for example, for me, if I want to, with my, like, again, I said, I'm a feeler, I'm sensitive. So a lot of the times, like, I want my emotional side fed.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that could
Me too.
be as small as, I am so tired, I can't do dishes today, or can you just feed the babies the bottle or whatever.
Yes.
Like, so like that shows me like a different side to my husband. Like, he's caring, he's loving, and all these things. So it's like, if my emotional side is fed,
exactly.
then I am able to, like, my physical aspect is also. So it's kind of crazy how that's often intertwined.
Yes.
The emotional aspect
is.
of a woman, not all women, but at least
Most
most
women.
women,
yeah,
the
it's true.
emotional side is very connected to the physical side. So when my emotional side is fed, I'm like, hi.
And I think now, like, just to piggyback on what you're saying, like, even in motherhood, it can be the smallest of things.
Yeah.
Like, if he washes the baby, if he decides to, just, those two small,
the kids
tiny
off your
things,
hands.
take your
Yeah.
the
It's
kids
a
off your
turn
hands.
on
Like, it's
for a
so,
mother.
Yeah,
it feels so nice.
Or
You're
even
like,
show extra love and affection to the areas or parts of a body of a woman that they're most subconscious
true.
about,
Yeah.
especially the tummy for most moms.
It's
Yeah.
true.
and then now spank your husband once in a while.
All the time.
All the time. You will see, so in a high five that story. That story all the time. You just spank them.
I love it.
Also, they know how to take opportunity.
Yeah, all the time. All the time.
That's awesome. Anyway.
Parting shots. Mine ni maintenance.
Aki
Hata
my stomach,
unaweza ingia, entering maintenance mode even in marriage is fine.
Yeah.
Like, there are times Eddie and I actually I can say, like, maybe I'm not in a bad place, but I'm also not in a good place.
Uko neutral too.
Niko too neutral, and
yeah.
would like, okay, maybe we can nanny for maintenance. So there's fura, there's maintenance is just their service for the weekly, so that the car keeps on going, and then there's
Oh.
full steam ahead.
Yeah.
So I think it's that, because if it's actually important for men, it's something to talk about. And for me, I'm happy that I was able to say, hey, by the way, maybe we can do maintenance, because that one, it's just so we can, get this ship ready. For the
Can
next
warm
one.
the engine
I warm it.
For takeoff.
to run the longer mile ahead.
I love it. I think for me, what I would say, like my parting shot is, I think for any mom going in the postpartum period, like as you've had, it's okay to feel like you don't want to be intimate with your spouse.
Yeah.
It's okay to feel like this is the last thing on my mind.
Of course.
But what we're saying is that you have to communicate that to your
Yeah.
partner.
Yeah.
Because if you don't communicate, like I think this talks about marriage and everything. I think the key thing for your marriage is communication.
Yeah.
So, and this is for married people, Manzi, not for anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I think it's just communicating that, and just it's okay if things change. Like as
'Cause
we've
they
said,
will change.
yeah, it will change. Like it does change. So you just have to be open to those adjustments. Yeah. And then also trust the Spirit of God to help you.
That's true.
Yeah.
I agree. I think for me, I kind of want to address like women who've gone through traumatic experiences, who've experienced like situations like rape or being molested. Like coming from that situation and sex, that can be a very hard, difficult, just traumatizing aspect. So it's like I would honestly advise you to seek help. And seeking help means finding either a counselor or just being honest and raw with your partner or your spouse, because things like that really can affect a marriage.
That's true.
And then the other thing would be, again, communication and praying. Like you can talk to God about sex with your husband and how he can make it better, because those are the things where it's like you can go to God with anything, any conversation, any topic, and sex is one of them, even though it's not encouraged.
Like even in the
necessarily.
middle of it, God will just tell you do this, and you end up
Exactly.
it's happened.
It's
Yeah.
possible.
It's possible.
And God, He created it for a reason and a purpose. So He can restore it and He can bring it to fruition in however He best seems fit for your family and your situation. Those are my two biggest ones.
You've said what I wanted to say as far as praying to God about our libido and sexual desires to our husbands and attractiveness to them. I think it's beautiful actually to pray to God if we feel like we're completely cut off from such desires, libido is down, because if God has given to us, then we should, if it's not happening, that means there's something sort of off. So we can pray for ourselves, pray for yourself in that area, and also just being safe spaces for your husbands and for each other.
Important.
To speak out the desires and the frustrations that you have as far as intimacy is concerned, because I know there are those ones who cannot open up to their husbands in those intimacy things, and they go open up to probably another person somewhere,
Or even shut down.
Shut down completely. Same thing to men, like also men, that we create a safe space that they can also speak back and say about the expectations in the area of intimacy in marriage. So for us to be safe spaces for one another, to build a really healthy relationship.
Sex is a good gift from God.
It's a beautiful gift from God.
Fun fact, I read somewhere that women's drive goes up the older you get.
That's interesting.
And for now men.
It's
So-
in a shuka.
Oh, really?
I've
So
had
they're the
that
ones to
before.
keep the
Someone once
engine
actually
running.
That's what keeps now the engine running. Like, babe, are you sleeping?
Wake up. Wake up.
Why you next conversation?
Oh my goodness. So nice.
So
Anyway.
So guys, we want to thank you for watching. We really did have fun having this conversation, and we hope that you caught one or two things that will just help you guys thrive in your marriage. So
we have something for our
we have something for our lovely guest.
our lovely guest. Surprise.
Oh my God, surprise, babe. Our intimacy has gone the next level. We have flowers tonight.
It's like put them in the bedroom, set the tone.
Oh, thank you,
Just so
guys.
you guys can.
This is beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. We're glad you like it.
I love it. This one's.
Yeah. And eucalyptus take so long to dry out.
Yeah, they smell. They make the house smell nice.
Yeah, and they're good for. They're good for everything.
Good for everything.
I really wanted you to finish that sentence. I really wanted to see where that
She's
would go.
about to drop another science fact.
And with that, like, comment, share, subscribe. And as we like to say,
Don't be stingy.
So much grace. So much grace. So much grace. So much